Hello, and welcome to The Darkness in the Film Industry, a Film Spark series. This is a series where I deep dive into the underbelly of the film industry to bring you facts and stories about the people you once knew and loved. This series is not for the faint of heart, and we'll be discussing what could be triggering topics. Warnings will be presented for each episode. This is episode 1, Jeffrey Jones. Warning topics such as indecent exposure of children will be covered in this episode. I am your host Ebony, and let's get this started. Who is Jeffrey Jones? Jeffrey Duncan Jones, born September 28, 1946, is an American character actor best known for his roles as Emperor Joseph II in Amadeus, Edward R. Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Charles Dietz in Beetlejuice, Dr. Skip Tyler in The Hunt for Red October, Eddie Bazzoon in The Devil's Advocate, and A.W. Merrick in Deadwood and Deadwood the Movie. His career started in Guthrie Theatre in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and advanced to London and Broadway. In film and television, Jones has had many roles which capitalized on his deadpan portrayal of characters in unusual situations, often to comic effect. He was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for his performance in Amadeus and a Screen Actors Guild Award as part of the ensemble cast of Deadwood. Jones was born in Buffalo, New York, the son of Ruth and Douglas Bennett Jones. His mother was an art historian who urged him towards a career in acting. His father died when Jones was an infant. After graduating from the Putney School in 1964, Jones enrolled in Lawrence University as a pre-med student, where his performance in university productions brought him to the attention of Tyrone Guthrie, who recruited him for the Guthrie Theatre in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He then went to London in 1969 to study at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, followed by a 3-year stint with the Stratford Theatre in Stratford, Ontario. His stage career included more than 125 productions, starting with the Guthrie Theatre, then internationally in South America, Canada, London, and in New York off-Broadway in Cloud 9 and Henry V, among other productions, as well as on Broadway in productions including The Trelawney of the Wells and The Elephant Man. His transition from stage to film began in 1970. Jones began acting in small parts in film and television in the 1970s. His best-known roles as Emperor Joseph II in Amadeus, Charles Dietz in Beetlejuice, and Edward R. Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. His deadpan expression and distinctive face bring a comic relief to his characters through their reactions to the situations in which they find themselves. More so than the wit in their scripted lines, the New York Times biographic profile says of Jones, although he has tried to steer clear of playing only sinister roles, the actor's imposing height, bugged-out eyes, easy sneer, and shock of reddish-blonde hair give him vaguely devilish features that have prompted villain typecasting. However, the actor is also widely respected and considered a boon wherever he appears. The profile describes his portrayals variously as a hissable, cartoonish high school principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a good-natured father in Beetlejuice, an interplanetary freedom fighter in Mum and Dad Save the World, a demon stand-in in Stay Tuned, and evil bespectacled twins in Out on a Limb. Jones's work in the Lucille Lortel Theatre production of Cloud 9 was noticed by the casting team of Easy Money, earning Jones a supporting role opposite Rodney Dangerfield. Jones played Dr. Walter Jennings in the George Lucas film Howard the Duck. He portrayed Inspector Lestrade in the Sherlock Holmes spoof film Without a Clue. In The Hunt for Red October, he played ex-submarine commander Skip Tyler, who identifies the Red October's propulsion system to Alec Baldwin's Jack Ryan. He also appeared as real-life figure Thomas Putnam in The Crucible. He also played Uncle Crenshaw Little in Stuart Little. As lumber mogul Joe Potter, Jones was the primary antagonist of the Eddie Murphy comedy Dr. Dolittle 2. Jones's feared career came to a halt in 2002 after the County of Los Angeles District Attorney charged him with a sex offense after Jones hired a then 14-year-old boy to pose nude for photos in Jones's Los Angeles home. The teen came forward when he was 17 years old to report Jones's misconduct. His home was searched on Friday, November 16, 2001, and Jones was found to be in possession of child pornography. The statute of limitations on the case would have expired that Sunday had the search not been conducted. Shortly after his arrest, Jones was freed on a $20,000 bail. His attorney, Jeffrey Brody, downplayed the offense at the time of the arrest, stating to the Los Angeles Times that the charge was all about photos, and that there were no allegations of any touching or any improper acts with a minor. After entering a no-contest plea, Jones was required to do 5 years of probation, counselling, and a spot on the sex offender registry. One of his attorneys, Leonard Levine, like Brody, downplayed the nature of the offence. He stated Jones was not accused of touching or having physical contact with any minors whatsoever. He didn't do anything of that nature. It was just a case about photographs. Levine said that he hopes at some point the public will forgive Jones. Not long after his no-contest plea in 2003, Jones picked up his first probation violation when the sheriff's office in Sarasota, Florida, arrested him in 2004. The Beetlejuice actor failed to report within 48 hours that he had moved to a new address, a requirement of his probation and his registration as an offender. Jones registered when he first moved to Sarasota apartment in 2003, but upon moving the following year did not change his address in the registry. He moved out of his apartment in March, and his new address was not discovered until July. Jones's 5-year probation sentence eventually almost doubled. In 2010, Jones has violated the conditions of his probation by failing to update his information on the sex offender registry. He was arrested and released after posting a $20,000 bail. Jones received another 3-year probation sentence as well as 250 hours of community service working on a road cleanup crew. The then 63-year-old entered a guilty plea for the violation, stating that such an event has never happened before and will never happen again. The probe by the Los Angeles Police Department that leveled charges against Jones is the same probe that targeted former Pee-wee's Playhouse star Paul Reubens. Police obtained a warrant to search Reubens' home and found vintage erotica. The child pornography charges against Reubens were dropped in exchange for pleading guilty to the lesser charge of obscenity. Reubens had to register his address with police and could not be in the company of minors without the permission of a parent or guardian. Both Jones and Reubens' homes were searched on the same day. Although Jones faced 2 felony charges for failing to register as an offender after his 2004 Sarasota arrest, he was released from police custody soon after, updating his new address. Under Megan's law for Florida, sex offenders are required to register within 48 hours of establishing a new resident. Jones was found to be living with his mother in a Sarasota home. In 2004, when Jones's victim was 19 years old, he filed a civil lawsuit against Jones. He asserted that the actor subjected him to physical and sexual abuse. The victor stated that Jones shot the photos in his Los Angeles home, where he directed the then 14-year-old to engage in sexual acts during the photo shoot. The defendant described the abuse as happening over a period of time from 1999 to 2000. Reportedly, the civil suit against Jones was dismissed with prejudice at the plaintiff's request shortly after it was filed. In 2016, Chicago celebrated the 30th anniversary of Ferris Bueller's Day Off at a film festival dubbed Ferris Fest. During the 3-day celebration of the film and the actors who starred in the film, fans were able to participate in meet and greets as well as visit the filming location. However, Jeffrey Jones wasn't present at the festival. Residents of Aiken, SC were not happy when they discovered a registered offender was working in their backyard on Who's Your Caddy? Who's Your Caddy was shooting in the town in 2006, and filmmakers invited Aiken residents to be a part of the movie and check out everything happening behind the scenes. When people learned about Jones's spotted record, however, they made plans to do anything but. Resident Joel Williams told WRDW-TV, "You'd think because it's Hollywood, that they'd have more dignity than that. That makes me very angry, and this is what we, the Williams family, moved here to avoid. That brings us to the end of episode 1, Jeffrey Jones. As you can see, this is a series that will be discussing and deep diving into the people's past and presents of the people in the film industry that we know and love. I hope you've enjoyed episode 1, Jeffrey Jones, and keep an eye out for episode 2 coming in the near future. My name is Ebony, this is the Film Spark podcast, and thank you for listening.